And it was so, so horrible. Oh. Hi, I kind of felt like doing a little bit of a chatty video tonight, and for some reason the first thing that popped into my head to do was to chat about my most embarrassing moments. So that is what is happening. These aren't in any particular order, they're just as they came to me, and there are probably like way more embarrassing things that I could have said in this video, but I must have just repressed those memories so strongly that I could not remember them when I was trying to think of embarrassing moments. So I've narrowed it down to 5. So for number 1, we go all the way back to high school, and I think I was maybe like 14, maybe 15, I'm not 100% sure. The school that I went to, like high school, was in the next town along from where I actually lived. So we got buses, like school buses, that took us into the school. And where the buses dropped us off, it was kind of just next to the pavement, but there was like a strip of grass that you had to like cross over to get onto the pavement. And one day I got off the school bus, stepped off, and immediately fell over and landed knee first in a pile of dog shit. Now, not living in the town where the school was, I couldn't just like quickly nip home and get changed. So I had to go to the toilets and just wipe it off. And if you've ever got dog shit on you, you will know that you can wipe as much as you want, but that smell is not going anywhere. So I tried my best with hand soap from the bathrooms and like wiping it down with paper towels, drying my knee underneath the hand dryer. But no, you could still, there was still that distinct light smell of dog shit, and I had to go around all day with that smell, and it was humiliating. I don't remember anyone commenting on it at all, so maybe it wasn't as bad as I'm imagining it, but all day I just was very aware of the fact my trousers absolutely stink of dog shit and I couldn't do anything about it. And it was so, so horrible. Oh. Number 2 is sort of along the same kind of lines, and one day at lunchtime, again, I can't remember, I'm maybe 15, maybe 16, and I was walking up the street with my friends to go and buy lunch, and then just all of a sudden, like, I felt something hit my face and touch my mouth, and I just thought someone had like thrown something from home ec at me, like thrown like a pasta bake or something, had like thrown it at us, because it also went on my friend, on her head as well, and both of us were just like, ugh, what the hell just happened? And no, it wasn't someone throwing food at us, which would have been marginally better. It was actually a bird shitting in our faces. And not just like a normal bird shit, it was like orangey brown. So basically, some bird like had diarrhea in my face and in my mouth. Even remembering it now, it was horrible. And we're with like a group of us, and like the 2 of us that had got hit were just like, oh my god, what do we do? And our other friends were like struggling to try and find like tissues and things, and they were pissing themselves laughing as well because they thought it was fucking hilarious. And so they were like helping us like wipe it off. And I remember it was like in my friend's hair, and it was in my mouth, and just like on my face. Oh, really just so embarrassing. Luckily, not that many people saw it apart from my group of friends. Still, it was really horrible. Number 3 is another school related story, and it's from, again, I don't really know how old I was, but I'm gonna say like 14, is a guess. Actually no, it probably was a bit older than that. Maybe, might have even been like my second last year of school, so maybe 16, 17. Anyway, doesn't matter. So basically, like, the trousers that I wore to school, for quite a time were a little bit too tight for me, and what I used to do, instead of just admitting defeat and buying a bigger pair of trousers, I used to just like undo the button and kind of tuck the button in, so I would have it zipped up by the zip and not having the buttons on. Or occasionally I would do that trick where you put like a hair bubble through the button loop and then around the button. Like, fat girl tips. So one day I am walking along my street to get home, and I can feel that my trousers are starting to fall off a little bit because they're not buttoned up. So I kind of like had my hands like on my hips, or just holding the top of the trousers off, like, it's fine, I'll be home like a minute. And then just all of a sudden they just like fell down, like literally fell to my knees. So I was standing there in pants and a shirt with my trousers down at my knees, and I know that I yanked them back up like as quickly as possible, and I know that there was no one else on the street at the time, but there could have been people looking out of their windows on my street, and I just remember being like, oh my god, pull them back up really quickly, and then like sped walked the 3 houses or whatever I had to get to my house. Yeah, I don't think I ever did the tucking the button in trick ever again after that. It was just like the shame. Okay, story number 4, we're moving into kind of more recent territory now. I say recent, it's like from my uni days. So when I must have been 18, 19, I had a boyfriend who lived in Glasgow. I lived with friends in Edinburgh, like with student friends, but he lived with his parents. So when I went to visit him in Glasgow, I would stay at his parents' house. And one night we went out with his friends and got quite drunk. And I actually found a photograph from this night out when I was looking through some pictures recently. So I will insert that here and you can check out my lovely outfit there. So fashion. So we went on a night out with his friends, got a little bit drunk, stayed over, and back in those days, I got terrible hangovers, like just thrown up like no one's business. Nowadays, I don't really have proper hangovers because I think it's mainly because I don't drink as much. Or if I do drink a lot, then I'll kind of stop an hour or two before I come home and switch to soft drinks because I'm sensible. So I've not really had like a crazy hangover for a very long time. But back then, it was like a regular occurrence. Every time I went out at the weekend, I would be really hungover the next again day and feel awful. So after a night out, the next again day, I got up and I felt really hungover. And a kind of little trick in our family, well, me and my dad, has always been if you're hungover, the only thing we can stomach really is cream of tomato soup. Heinz cream of tomato soup is the only thing we can eat when we're hungover. And so I went down for like lunch with his parents and then they were like, oh, do you want anything to eat? And I was like, do you have cream of tomato soup? I can eat that. So I had my soup and I started to feel a bit better. I was like, it's fine. So later on, my boyfriend's dad drove me back into Glasgow to get the bus home. And as we're going along the motorway, I suddenly felt really sick. And I was like, we're gonna have to pull over the car because I am going to throw up. So we pulled into a lay-by and as I'm opening the door of his lovely car, I just throw up all over the door, dripping down onto the road, red, bright red, because of that bloody soup, all over the door. What do you do in that situation? I'd only been going out with him for a couple of months. This is an introduction to his parents. Hello, I am dating your son and I'm the sort of person that throws up in cars. Such a good girlfriend. So yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. But it's really one of the most embarrassing things I've ever done in front of a boyfriend's parents. In fact, that must be the most embarrassing thing I've ever done in front of a boyfriend's parents. The last one is actually a lot more recent. I was going to say at the start of this video, like, all these stories are from a really long time ago, so it shows that I've obviously matured and that I don't really have embarrassing things happen to me anymore. But no, then I remembered this story happened literally a year ago. So I have a friend, Gemma, who had been away living abroad for a little while, and she came back for a night out with some of my friends. So we went out to Cafe Andalus and had dinner and shared some wine. It's all very civilised. Then we went to this pub called the Hog's Head. No, went to this pub called the Amber Rose, which used to be called the Hog's Head. And I used to go there all the time when I worked in Debenhams when I was at uni. That was like the place that everyone went to after work. There are many embarrassing things that I did when I used to go on nights out with those people. I'm not really going to talk about them in this video. So we went to that pub, and the best thing about this pub is that it is extremely cheap. So you can get a glass of wine for something like £3, which wherever you live might be quite expensive. In Edinburgh, that is dead cheap. So Gemma and I and our other friends had a little table and we were just sitting drinking wine constantly, like buying bottle after bottle of wine. And because we're sitting down and chatting, you don't notice how drunk you're getting. But then at one point our friend Colin arrived and I went to the bar to meet him, and I had like these boots on with like a wooden sole, and it was like a stone floor in the pub, and I kind of went sliding across the floor and fell into this table of men, and I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, and then stumbling off to the toilet, just like typical like drunk girl that you see in a pub. Really embarrassing. But that's not the embarrassing bit. So afterwards we went to another bar. I don't remember going to this other bar at all. In fact, I can't even remember now what it was called, but no memory whatsoever of having gone to this other bar. I do remember us standing outside this karaoke club called Supercube and trying to get in, but they didn't have any availability. And apparently I kept calling it Sugar Cube, going like, let's go to Sugar Cube. But anyway, so we ended up in a bar. I don't remember that. I then got a taxi home. My lovely friends made sure I got a taxi home. And then I got home and got into bed, and within about 30 seconds of getting into bed, I just vomited all over my pillow. And Blair, my fiance, was just like, right, in the bathroom now. And instead of just getting up and going straight into the bathroom, I then sat on the end of the bed and just continued throwing up on my carpet, down the curtains, all over the bedroom. And I don't remember what happened after that, but I do remember waking up in the spare room and just suddenly, and feeling the worst hangover that I'd had in years. Like I said, I don't normally get hangovers these days, but that was the exception. And having to go into our bedroom and see the massacre from the night before of just like vomit everywhere was horrific. And even now, like that was like a year ago, we've cleaned that carpet many times. There is still darker shade of carpet in that area of the room, and every time I see it I'm just like, oh, the humiliation of what happened that frightful night. But one thing is, I have never since then got anywhere near that drunk. I hate not knowing what's happened on a night out. Like, it just really freaks me out. And that happened quite a lot when I was younger, when I was like stupid and go out and drink far too much. But now I'm a lot more sensible and I don't drink to excess. So to have that happen was just like horrible. But I'm so lucky, obviously I was out with friends and they like got me home, and I had Blair here to look after me so I didn't like vomit in my sleep. But yeah, you know, lesson learned. It's not fun doing that. So I would not advise drinking like 2 bottles of wine to yourself. So that is my top 5 embarrassing moments. Like I said, there are probably a lot more that I haven't remembered or that I don't want to share on YouTube. So I hope you enjoyed this, and it's not a tag, but if you want to also do your own video about your embarrassing moments in your life, then yeah, please do, and leave me a link in the comments, because yeah, I've embarrassed myself by telling these stories, so I would like to share your embarrassment as well. I am now going to go and watch X Factor, which is just starting. I'll do some more videos soon, probably. I've not really had the time, or, well, that's a lie. I've not been bothered about doing it. I could not be arsed. But no, I will try and do some more videos soon. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.